Hi everyone, my name is Lori, my nickname is Reenie, and this is Reenie Bobini Creations. If this is the first time you've stopped by to check out my channel, I'd like to offer you a really warm welcome. And to all my subscribers, love you guys, thanks so much for coming back. So for today's Easter craft, I wanted to make a couple of things that kind of went together. And so this is a two-piece sort of thing, but they're all kind of the same. You'll see what I mean. And I am so pleased with the results. So super easy. Everything came from Dollarama or thrift stores or whatever. So I hope you guys love it too. So I'm going to stop yakking and we'll get on with the crafting. Okay, so I picked this little basket up at the thrift store, and as cute as it is, it won't suit the thing in my house. Easter is the one season that I have trouble finding ways to make it match my home. Every other season, because I've got reds, oranges, yellows. So red at Christmas is great, fall, Halloween, all of those work, but Easter, I just can't do the pastels. So as cute as it is, I really like the shape of it. So I'm going to give it a coat of this leaf green color because that will work better in my house. And I'm just going to give it a good couple of coats. I may leave the little band here. I haven't quite decided. We'll see how it comes out. But I will go get this painted and then we'll move on to the next part. All right, so while our basket is drying, one of the things I did, and we'll show you here, is I'm going to Mod Podge these pansies, and I got all of those at the Dollar Tree, and I really like the colors. I love pansies. Next to sunflowers, they're probably my favorite. There's so many patterns of them and they're so beautiful. So, but I wanted them to be stiff. So I just took my Mod Podge, and I just use regular Mod Podge for this, and I just painted the front and the back, as well as some of the leaves. Now you can skip this step if you want to. It would be beautiful with just the silk flowers, but I kind of wanted them almost to be like, almost like porcelain, I guess. So I did want them to be stiff and kind of, yeah, I don't know how to call it. But anyways, I really wanted that look. But again, this is a step you can totally skip. It will be beautiful regardless. Like I said, I also did the leaves. So I'll just do a few more here. And it didn't take them very long to dry. I did mine in an evening, thinking they would need overnight. They really didn't. They were pretty dry within, I'd say, 45 minutes, an hour, if that. But I did just, because I did so many of them, I just sort of did them overnight. Okay, so I am going to set those aside to dry. And then we're going to come back in with our basket. So that's what our basket looks like now. I really love this scalloped edge. So to start, we're just going to start with the ones that I've got that are already kind of stiff. And I thought what I would do is come around from the handle. So I also have some of these other florals. Again, most of them, if not all of them, are from the Dollar Tree or the Dollarama. And I'm going to start with my greenery. And I'm just going to snip it off where I think it would be a good length for me. Bend it a bit here. And then just using my glue gun, I'm just going to start gluing. Okay, that's going to kind of give us a nice starting point, I think. And then I'm just going to come in with my pansies, and I'm going to do the pansies next because that's going to kind of tell me where I want to tuck everything else. We'll put a smaller one up that handle. And if you need to, they got the little pokey end. You don't want to pull it off or you'll lose the form, but you can cut it down. Oh, I'm being challenged today. There we go. And guys, this is one of those things that, I mean, you can use any flowers. You can go very neutral. You can bring in the pastels. The pastels don't work real well in my house, which is why I actually painted the basket. I did think it was quite pretty the way it was, but they just don't suit my house very well. I'm going to take a bit more of my fern because I kind of want it coming down. So we'll just, I think on this one, I'll put the glue right on the fern. Okay, so that's what our basket looks like right now. Now we're going to start filling it in with some of this other greenery. So I'm going to push that aside. We will take some of our leaves that we have Mod Podge, so they're thicker again. And I have a few more if I want to. I'll see how it looks when I'm done. Well, I think I'll add a bit more to this guy. And so I've got some of these really pretty little, and again, they're all, if they're not dollar store, they're not Dollarama, they're Dollar Tree, and I can't remember which ones are which. And even like the green leafy bits, and because they're plastic, although sometimes it makes them look really fake, I think these look really good with the sort of porcelain looking, or the stiff looking flowers. I kind of like the way it looks, so we'll use some of those as well. So I'm just going to start tucking, and actually I think I want one of my bigger leaves in there. Now we'll take one of our little stems. And you're just going to tuck as much or as little as you want. I have these little sort of baby breath type ones too that I really, really like when you add that little bit of white to something with color. It really makes everything just sort of pop out, and I really like that look. So I'm always keeping this stuff in my stash here. So that's sort of where we're at right now. Let me see. And I'm going to just add some extra leaves and things where I think it needs it, but I don't think I can put the camera so we can all see. So I'm just going to come back to you, but just wherever I figure it's needed. And of course, just your personal preference. Okay guys, so apparently I failed to hit play on my video. So for our next step, well, the basket's pretty much, that part of the basket is done. But I have these little bunnies. They come in brown plastic. I think they come in all kinds of colors, and they're snapped together like the egg, you know, like the Easter eggs, the plastic Easter eggs. So I just popped them apart because I'm going to use them separately. And I gave them a coat of gray chalk paint to start. Now we're probably going to go back with the brown, and of course you can use whatever color suits you. I even thought about doing a stone effect, but I think I'm gonna stick with the brown in this case. So I've just given them a coat of paint. I'm gonna set them aside to dry, and we're gonna start working on the next part of this project. Okay, so for the next part of the project, I did pick up this little wreath from Dollarama. We're gonna go back in with our pansies and our greenery, and we're gonna give ourselves a cute little wreath for our bunny to go on. So to start, I'm just going to start pulling apart some of the bits and pieces I like. So I'm going to start again with the fern, and we're just going to glue, and I'm going to start in the middle. Often I like to offset this, but the vision I have for this one, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep it centered. We'll just trim some of that off. Alright, so that's our wreath pretty much done except for the bunny. So we're going to go back to the bunnies here and finish those off so we can add them in. And then we'll put the whole package together. Okay, coming back to our bunnies just to finish them up so they're all dry now. So I've got two shades of brown. I've got an espresso and then the burnt umber. And I'm going to start, that's not what I'm starting with a really dry brush. So I'm going to take as much of the water out as I can. And then we're going to pick up a little bit of the lighter brown, so that's the espresso. Brush most of it off, and then I'm just going to kind of go in and just haphazardly, sort of thing, go over our bunny. And the reason I'm doing this is then that cute little details kind of pop out. You can see them a little bit better. And it just kind of gives them a little dimension and a little Not looking so plasticky. The other thing I thought I might do, but ended up doing with this instead, but I think would be really cute, is to give it a stone look. So adding some like baking soda or something to your paint to give it some texture and dab it on, but I kind of wanted those lines to kind of show. So I decided to go this route instead. So once I'm reasonably happy with the coverage there, then I'm going to go in, and this is like, I guess you'd call it a chippy brush. It's not very, I mean, you wouldn't want to paint something smooth with it, but I'm going to use that in my burnt umber. And so similar kind of thing, I'm going to dip it in more than, and then I'm going to brush most of it off, and then same thing, I'm just going to go back over my bunny, and that's just going to give him a little more color, a little more depth to him. I was originally going to do them in moss, which I really liked the idea, but the moss I had was so big it wasn't suiting it, and I thought I could go and put it in my blender for a bit and make it more powdery, but decided just to go this route instead. Alright, so that's what he looks like now, and I think he's much better than when he was just plastic. So now we're just going to put the last touches together here on our basket and our wreath. So let me just clear my space a bit here. So I did do the other one already. I was just checking to see how I wanted it. So I'm just going to pop him on in there, but I'm kind of going to pull my flowers back a bit, so he's kind of in and among them rather than sitting on top. So with my glue gun, I'm just gonna, oh, need a glue stick. Just gonna go around his edges. There we go. Just going to, as I said, sort of tuck them in around the flowers, not just sitting on top of them. Okay, and then I did just keep a couple of bits and pieces just to finish him off a bit. Oh. So I'm just going to go underneath with a couple just to make that bottom part that's not very nice sort of hide. All right, so the last thing I think I will add, just a couple, I got these little eggs from the Dollarama, and I think I'll just pop just a couple, just a few to really bring in that Easter feel. I think that's all I'm going to do for him. So now we'll do our basket. Oh, I got glue everywhere. There we go. So now we'll finish up our basket, same kind of thing. So we just tucked him down there. And I did keep some extra flowers, but I think he's okay. I don't think he needs much hiding down there. So now I have these eggs that I did up in another year, and they just happen to be the right color for what we're doing. So I'm just going to fill them in here and place them however I think. We'll just throw them in now, and then we'll probably throw some of those other ones in as well. The ones from the other basket that we put on the other basket. And I think all of them together should be quite cute. So I think we'll use some of the gray ones maybe, and I think the pink. I don't think I will use the orange, but we do have a little pink in and amongst our pansies, so I think those will be okay too. All right, so that's our little basket and I will go get some better pictures of this, tuck that in, and just make it all look good.